Before we begin this morning prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. The day hasn't even fully begun, and already my mind is racing. There's a list forming behind my eyes before I've had a chance to breathe slowly. It's not written down yet, but I can feel it. The weight of everything that needs to be done. Things to respond to, things to follow up on, tasks I forgot yesterday, messages I should have answered, responsibilities I didn't ask for, but carry anyway. Even before I sit up, I feel behind. Like there's a race I didn't mean to enter, but somehow I'm in it every morning, and it's hard to feel close to you in that kind of pace. It's hard to feel anything at all when everything feels urgent, but I don't want to live today like I'm chasing something I can't name. I don't want to be so caught up in doing that I forget how to be. So God, be bigger than my to-do list today. Be louder than the demands. Be softer than the pressure. Be here in the middle of everything I think I have to carry, and remind me that I was never meant to carry it alone. Because I know you don't measure me by my productivity. You're not checking off boxes next to my name. You're not waiting for me to finish everything before you sit with me. You're here already before I've done a thing. And I need to let that truth settle somewhere deeper than my thoughts, into my breath, into my pace, into the part of me that always feels like I'm running behind. I want this day to be different, and I do forget a lot. I forget that it's okay to pause. I forget that rest is not something I earn. It's something you modeled. I forget that I'm allowed to do one thing at a time, that I'm allowed to choose presence over pressure. So slow me down, God. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Slow down the rush of thoughts. Slow down the spiral of what ifs and what's next. Slow down the noise that tells me I can't rest until everything is finished. Help me see that sometimes enough isn't a finish line. It's a mindset. It's a moment. It's the decision to let one deep breath be a kind of prayer, to let silence be a form of worship, to let interruption be an invitation to presence. Let me believe that I don't have to complete the day to receive it, that I don't have to get it all right to feel peace, that I don't have to check every box to hear you say, I'm with you. And if the list grows longer before it shrinks, if interruptions become the shape of my day, if I never reach the end of what I hope to do, help me not see that as failure. Help me see it as human, as grace, as part of what makes space for you to move in ways I couldn't plan. Let me not be so committed to the plan that I miss your presence in the detours. Let me not idolize structure so much that I forget the spirit is fluid. Let me trust that the most meaningful moments might not be measurable, that the most impactful thing I do today might be something small and quiet, like offering a gentle word, like showing up when I don't have to, like choosing love when it would be easier to retreat. Help me see that these things count too, that they matter deeply. So today, God, as I move through the hours ahead, be bigger than the pressure to perform, be stronger than the pull toward perfectionism, be kinder than the voice in my head that says I'm not doing enough. Be with me when I check my email. Be with me when I walk from task to task. Be with me when I pause in the hallway, unsure what's next. Be with me when I sit in traffic or stand in line or fold laundry for the third time this week. Be with me in the ordinary moments and remind me that they are not wasted, that my life is not measured only in accomplishments, but in the way I remain connected to myself, to you, to others, even in the middle of everything that needs doing. Let this morning not just be a moment of quiet, but the beginning of a new rhythm, one where I make room for my soul, even when the list is long, one where I choose intention over urgency, one where I protect small pockets of stillness, not as luxury, but as necessity, one where I remember that you are never far, even when I feel far from myself and when I start to slip back into the old pattern, the one where I equate success with speed or peace with productivity. Bring me back with a breath, with a soft word, with a glance towards something beautiful, with a reminder that I can begin again, even in the middle of the day, even in the middle of the list, even in the middle of the mess. Because I don't want to live from tension. I want to live from trust. I want to trust that if I do the next right thing, it's enough. I want to trust that you're weaving something beautiful from the days that feel scattered. I want to trust that even the undone things don't define me, that even the unchecked boxes don't diminish my nay, that even if I forget to pause again and again, you will always invite me back to stillness, not as punishment, but as peace, not as guilt, but as grace, not because I've earned it, but because you are kind. So, be bigger than the to-do list today, God. Be bigger than my fear of disappointing others. Be bigger than my fear of disappointing myself. Be bigger than the tightness in my chest, the urgency in my schedule, the clutter in my mind. Be the center again, not the extra thing I try to squeeze in once everything else is done, but the place from which I begin, the place I return to, the place I end. There's something about the way pressure creeps in so quietly, slipping into the day before I even have a chance to guard my peace. I'll be brushing my teeth and already thinking about the next thing, already negotiating how I'll get it all done, already bracing for the moments I know will stretch me thin. And in that space, even joy starts to feel like a luxury I can't afford. Even peace becomes something I'll try to earn later, after the inbox is cleared and the kitchen is cleaned and the last message has been sent. But the problem is, later keeps moving. It keeps slipping further into the distance. And if I don't learn to find peace now, I might miss it altogether. So I come back to you this morning with the same whisper. God, be bigger than my to-do list. Not just once, not just today, but again and again, for as long as it takes for that truth to sink into the deepest parts of me. So help me breathe differently today. Help me notice when my body tightens and choose softness instead. Help me catch myself when I start to measure my worth by how efficient I am, how productive I've been, how much I've accomplished by noon. Help me notice when I skip meals, when I ignore the ache in my back, when I scroll instead of rest, and let those moments be gentle wake-up calls, not shame, just awareness, not guilt, just grace. Help me see that you are always trying to bring me back to myself, always trying to remind me that I was created for more than just function, that the soul you gave me was not designed to be exhausted into goodness, but to be nurtured into wholeness, that you are not tallying my tasks, you are tending to my heart. Let today be one long conversation with you, not just in the quiet moments when I sit still and close my eyes, but in the middle of all the motion, while I'm driving, while I'm waiting in line, while I'm folding laundry or responding to someone's request or figuring out what's for dinner. Let me feel your nearness even when the list feels like it's swallowing me whole. Let me remember that I'm not too busy for you, that you don't require silence to speak, that you're not put off by the noise or the mess or the urgency. I just need to turn my attention, even briefly, and I'll find you there again. And God, when I do start feeling like I'm drowning in it all, don't let me fake calm. Don't let me push through with a smile when what I really need is to admit that I'm overwhelmed. Help me be honest with myself, with you, with the people around me. Help me say, I need a moment without shame. I need help without guilt. I can't do it all without feeling like I've failed. Let me remember that I'm not made of stone. I'm made of spirit and breath and tenderness, and that's not weakness. That's sacred design. That's how you formed me. That's what you called. So when the list tells me to hurry, help me move slowly. When the list tells me to earn love, help me remember it's already mine. When the list tells me I'm behind, help me come back to the truth. I'm exactly where I need to be to meet you again. I don't need to be at inbox 0. I don't need to be at my best. I just need to be honest. I just need to be willing. I just need to be open to the idea that this whole day could look different if I let you shape it, instead of letting my schedule run the show. And I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't have a perfect plan, but maybe that's the point. Maybe what I need most is not more structure, it's more surrender. So I surrender the pressure. I surrender the image I'm trying to protect. I surrender the narrative that says I'll be okay once everything is under control. Let this day be marked by that kind of freedom. The kind that lets me move through my responsibilities without being ruled by them. The kind that lets me say no without over-explaining. The kind that lets me rest without waiting until I'm too tired to enjoy it. The kind that reminds me that I'm allowed to live slowly, even if the world keeps moving fast. The kind that says I can put the list down, not forever, maybe just for a breath, maybe just for a moment, and remember who I am, whose I am, why I'm really here. And in that remembering, find everything I've been rushing to feel: peace, clarity, grounding, grace. Be with me now, God, in this breath, in this body, in this hour. And when I forget again, and I will forget, bring me back gently, bring me back kindly, bring me back through beauty, through music, through a word from a friend, through the rhythm of my own breathing. Bring me back to you, bring me back to myself, bring me back to the truth that you are bigger than my to-do list, and I am more than the tasks I complete. It's strange how quickly the list can become my identity. How I can wake up already feeling the need to prove something through checkboxes and appointments. It's as if I've started to believe that the more I do, the more I matter. That my value is linked to how well I manage time, how efficiently I move from one thing to the next, how little I pause, how much I push. But I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to confuse movement with meaning. I don't want to confuse accomplishment with worth. I don't want to lose myself in busyness and call it faithfulness. So I ask again, God, be bigger than my to-do list today. Be bigger than the version of me that believes I am only good when I am producing. Be bigger than the part of me that fears if I slow down, everything will fall apart. Be the one who reminds me that I was created for connection, not just for completion. Because I think I've forgotten that I'm allowed to breathe before the work begins, that I can start the day, not with striving, but with stillness. That the first thing on my list doesn't have to be a task. It can be presence. Presence with you. Presence with my own heart. Presence with the quiet. And when I begin that way, something in me shifts. The pace changes. The weight lightens. The focus softens. I start to remember that the world won't collapse if I move more gently, that my soul won't dry up if I make space to rest in the middle of the routine, that joy doesn't come at the end of the list. It often arrives in the middle of it when I pause long enough to notice. So help me notice today. Help me notice the moments that will be easy to rush past, the way the sunlight hits the counter, the way my breath moves deeper when I'm not watching a clock, the way I feel when I let myself exist without proving anything. Help me notice that I don't need to be excellent to be beloved. I don't need to be organized to be held. I don't need to be on top of everything to be grounded in something greater. Help me notice that you're not just in the pauses, you're in the pace. You're not only in the quiet, you're in the chaos too. But you meet me differently depending on how I'm willing to meet you. And if I get swept up again, if I dive into the day without looking up, if I let urgency take over, if I get lost in the rhythm of deadlines and demands, don't scold me, just gently bring me back. Let the timer go off and remind me to breathe. Let someone's smile stop me in my tracks. Let a song play that brings me home to myself. Did some part of me remember what this day is really for? Not checking off 100 things, but living fully in a few of them. Not stretching myself so thin that I forget why I began, but returning again and again to what really matters. Being present, being kind, being real, being rooted in you and God, in the spaces where I feel resistance, where I feel like I can't slow down, like I don't deserve rest, like pausing is irresponsible. Meet me there, not with force, but with kindness. Help me see that you're not trying to make me less effective. You're trying to make me more whole, that you're not asking me to abandon my responsibilities. You're inviting me to carry them differently, to carry them with you, to let you share the weight of the work and the worry, to let you hold the parts of the day that I can't control, to let you be the anchor when everything else is asking me to drift. Because I know the to-do list isn't bad, it's just not everything. It helps me organize, but it doesn't define me. It gives structure, but it doesn't give identity. And I want to keep that perspective. I want to be someone who plans well, but doesn't worship plans. Someone who works hard, but never forgets how to rest. Someone who says yes with clarity and no with peace. Someone who understands that the sacred is not always separate from the mundane. It's often found right in the middle of it, while doing dishes, while answering emails, while driving and pausing at a red light, and letting my hand rest on my heart for just a second longer than usual. Let me be someone who lets you into the small spaces. And when I finish the day, when I lay down and the list isn't done, because it rarely is, help me sleep without shame. Help me rest without replaying everything I didn't do. Help me end the day not with regret, but with gratitude. Gratitude that I showed up. Gratitude that I tried. Gratitude that I slowed down at least once to breathe with you. Gratitude that I lived from my soul, not just my schedule. Gratitude that you are not keeping score the way I sometimes do. That you are always more interested in the heart behind the action than the action itself. So, let today be different, not because of what I accomplish, but because of how I move through it. Let it be marked by awareness. Let it be softened by presence. Let it be shaped by grace. Let it be filled, not with noise, but with meaning. Let the to-do list shrink in importance, not because I ignore it, but because I've remembered something deeper, something truer, something eternal. That I belong to you, that I am loved right here, that peace is not the reward for finishing the work, it's the invitation at the start. There's something sacred about choosing presence in a world that measures worth by speed. Something holy about waking up and deciding that before I step into the next task, the next message, the next obligation, I will first pause and remember why I'm here. I will remember that I am not a machine, that I am not my list, that I am not the expectation of others or the standard I've built in my own mind. I will remember that I am yours, that I was created not to perform, but to love, not to rush, but to notice, not to strive, but to stay connected to the truth that you are enough. And because you are, I can be enough too. Even when the day feels unfinished, even when the work isn't done, even when the work isn't done, even when the goals shift and the plan breaks and the time gets away from me, you don't drift. You stay, and you don't need me to catch up to meet you. You meet me in real time, wherever I am. And when people expect more of me than I have to give, help me not to panic. Help me to breathe. To check in with you first before saying yes. To know that boundaries are not selfish. They are sacred. They are the spaces where I protect the soul you gave me, where I make room for rest, where I choose honesty over performance, where I let people see that I'm not infinite, but you are, and that's enough. You are the one who carries what I can't. You are the one who sees what I miss. You are the one who holds together the pieces that slip from my hands. You are the one who is still at work, even when I stop. So when I pause today, and I want to pause, even if just for a moment, let that pause feel like home. Let it feel like permission. Let it feel like exhale. Let it feel like presence instead of procrastination. Like returning instead of escaping. Like living instead of just managing. Let me remember that I don't need to earn time for my soul. You already gave it to me. I just need to say yes to it. I just need to believe that this breath is a place I can meet. You, that this moment is enough to realign. That I don't have to finish everything before I can belong again. I already belong. So thank you for being bigger. Thank you for being bigger than my fear of failure. Thank you for being bigger than my deadlines. Thank you for being bigger than the lies that say, I am only valuable when I'm achieved. Thank you for being bigger than my vast patterns, my people-pleasing, my eternal rush. Thank you for being bigger than the systems that reward burnout. Thank you for being bigger than my desire to get it all right. Thank you for being still. And thank you for being near. And thank you for reminding me that the most important thing I'll do today might be something no one else ever sees, like this moment, this pause, this prayer. Let today not be measured by what I cross off, but by what I carry well, by how I notice in the spaces between, by how I return to peace again and again, even if I forget a dozen times. Let the deepest success of this day be that I stayed connected to you, to my soul, to love, to light, to a way of living that honors both my limits and your limitless grace. Let that be enough. Let that be more than enough.